Hey everyone, and welcome. You know, there's almost nothing as exciting as getting a brand new floor. It can totally change the entire vibe of a room. But to get that perfect, flawless finish, there are a few things you really need to know before the installers even show up. So that's what we're going to break down today, a complete guide to a perfect professional installation. So, you're all set for that beautiful new floor, but is your house ready for the installers? You see, getting the best result isn't just about hiring a pro, it's about being a great partner. It's about knowing exactly what they need from you to do their absolute best work. And that's what we're about to cover.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by talking about this whole process as a partnership. Then, we'll get into what your installer is actually going to deliver. After that, it's your turn. We'll go through your pre-installation checklist. We'll also dig into some of the finer details and wrap things up with a special topic, floor leveling.
Okay, first things first, and this is probably the most important idea to get your head around. Installing a beautiful floor is a team effort. Seriously, think of it like a collaboration between you and the professionals. When everybody knows their part, the whole thing just goes so much smoother, way more efficient, and you end up with a result you'll absolutely love.
And what's great is that this partnership is actually pretty simple. On one side, the installer promises their professional expertise and a tidy job. On your side, your job is to give them a perfectly prepped space to work their magic. So let's dive into what that really means, starting with what you can expect from them.
So, what should you actually expect on the big day? Let's talk about the professional promise. What exactly is the installation team bringing to the table?
On installation day, your team has a very clear mission. Obviously, they're going to professionally install your flooring and the plinths, the baseboards. When they're finished, they'll leave the area broom clean. Now, that means swept, but not a deep clean. They'll also pile up all the cutting waste for you in one neat spot. And here's the big one. They guarantee the floor installation itself for 6 months. Okay, now it's your turn. Let's talk about your part of the deal. And look, this isn't just a list of chores. Think of this as your 5-step plan for making sure everything goes off without a single problem. This is how you set the stage for success. Let's walk through it. Number 1, snap a quick photo or video of your subfloor and send it over. This helps them spot any potential red flags early. 2, the room needs to be completely empty. And I mean empty. No furniture, totally clean, no obstacles. 3, make sure that subfloor is flat, dry, and doesn't have any damage. 4, and this one is critical, the room has to be at about 20 degrees Celsius for a full 48 hours before they arrive. And finally, number 5, when your new flooring is delivered, lay all the boxes flat in that nice warm room so the materials can get used to the temperature. Let's just hang on that 48-hour rule for a second because it is so important. This has nothing to do with comfort. It's about the material itself. You see, flooring expands and contracts with heat and cold. Letting it sit in a stable, 20-degree room for 2 days lets it settle. This prevents it from buckling or getting gaps after it's installed. Seriously, this one step can save you from major headaches down the road.
And this is exactly why that checklist matters so much. If the team shows up and the room isn't ready, maybe it's still full of furniture or it's freezing cold, they have the right to reschedule. And look, this isn't meant as a penalty. It's really a quality control thing. It ensures they can do the job right and actually stand behind their 6-month guarantee.
Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the fine print. These are the kinds of details that are really easy to miss but are super important for making sure there are no surprises on installation day.
Let's talk plinths, or baseboards. With the high MDF ones, they'll be professionally cut and mounted, but, and this is key, you'll be responsible for the final sealing and painting. Now, with stick-on plinths, they're just that, self-adhesive, quick and easy. But check this out, there is no warranty on their installation. Because they're just stuck on, they can sometimes come loose, and fixing that is going to be on you.
All right, let's clear up a few things that people often think are included, but aren't. The installer's job is the floor. So finishing work like sealing gaps or painting the plinths, that's not part of the standard service. They also won't be hiding any cables for you or doing any carpentry work like cutting down door frames. And finally, they stick to easily accessible areas, so really tight spots like meter cupboards or tiny toilets are usually a no-go.
Let's talk about leftovers, both waste and materials. Your team will gather up all the offcuts, but getting rid of it is your job. Now, you can have them handle it for an extra fee, usually around 145 euros. On the materials side of things, it's on you to get the room measurements right. And here's a pro tip. Always keep at least 2 spare packs of flooring. Trust me, if you ever need to do a repair years from now, you will be so glad you have a perfect match ready to go.
Okay, for our last section, we're going to tackle a very specific process. You might hear the term eagle lasieren, which is Dutch for leveling. This is a really crucial step for some types of floors, especially if you're getting glue-down PVC.
So, what exactly is leveling? Pay close attention here because this distinction is super important. Leveling is the process of making the subfloor perfectly smooth. A thin compound is poured over it to create a perfect surface for the glue to stick to. It does not mean making the floor structurally level. The subfloor itself has to be pretty level before this smoothing process can even start.
Now, the drying process here follows a really strict schedule. First, the compound goes down and the heat needs to be kept low. After about 10 hours, you can walk on it gently, but absolutely no high heels or heavy furniture. The rule of thumb for drying is about 24 hours for every 2 millimeters of thickness. Once it's fully cured, then the room is ready for the flooring materials to come in and start acclimatizing.
And you guessed it, just like the main install, leveling has its own checklist. The subfloor needs to be free of any big height differences, holes, or things sticking up. If there are any repairs needed, they have to be done before the leveling team arrives. Remember, they're there to make the surface perfectly smooth, not to fix underlying structural problems with your subfloor.
So let's wrap this all up. The main takeaway here is that getting that incredible dream floor is about way more than just picking the right color. It's all about the partnership you build with your installers. When you prepare your space the right way and you understand the whole process, you're literally setting them up to do their absolute best work for you. So the only thing left to ask is, are you ready to be the perfect partner for your perfect new floor?